This is probably the only video you'll need going over Oracle. I'm going to tell you why I prefer this stock over pretty much any other tech stock on a pullback right now, including Microsoft and including ServiceNow, which are two great companies that I am buying, but I'm going to keep a majority of my free cash going into Oracle as it dips. If it can keep dipping, that would be amazing. Last time it dipped all the way down to 135, I bought, so yes, I'm up a ton on shares already, but I would like to buy even more. Let me show you guys exactly why so we're all on the same page. This is a super relevant stock right now. The market has really been moving with what's relevant, for example, SpaceX, Micron, and even, with the whole semiconductor space, stocks that Trump is buying, Dell, Intel, things like that. So Oracle, I think, is definitely one of those, and I think it's a great value stock at these prices. Let's go over it, but also talk about price targets, where it should be, how much you could expect to make, etc. So right now they have a fair value of about $400. So it's 63% undervalued, but why aren't we seeing it just jump up to $400 if that's the case? Well, it's their debt load and how big of a deal the market sees it as. And so last time I was buying Oracle over here in the 130s because I was betting on it being kind of like an overreaction. Now we're right back down. Still a little bit higher, but basically right back down as the market has pulled back, specifically the Nasdaq. So I'm buying again. I'm doing the exact same thing as I was doing before, except now I'm even more confident because we just saw a massive run, right? So I made $10,000+ because I was in on leverage, and I was in on calls and shares. Now I'm doing it again with more money and more confidence. So that's their fair value. But that aside, their price targets for the next 12 months are still looking like 72%. That's great. And the crazy thing is, we already saw 250 in May. In late May, we saw about 250 on shares. Let's go here. It was actually much higher, but Robinhood's average isn't going to show that. It hit about 250. That's where I trimmed. It went a little bit higher. But anyways, that's the price target. So I think that is extremely realistic considering we just saw that. All Oracle had to do was pump for a couple weeks and it hit that. So that could happen. Analysts are very, very, very bullish on it. As you can see, there's no real confusion. We have one sell and 30 strong buys, 7 buys, and only 6 holds. So analysts like it. Their revenue is bulletproof, their earnings per share are bulletproof. Of course, we already know that. It's just about the debt that's keeping it down. But I think that some people are just kind of overlooking the fact that their revenue, check this out. This is what the company does, basically. This is what they've been focused on for a while. And the stock is just pulling back because people are only worried about headlines, really. So they're kind of ignoring the fact that this company is doing what it should be doing. They're doing build outs for OpenAI, they're doing build outs for Trump, they're doing a ton of stuff for very relevant companies. And honestly, I don't know if there is a more relevant stock that's putting up just as good numbers. Here's a look at their earnings. They have not missed earnings in over 8 quarters. Over 8 quarters. It's actually been, I think, over 10. But this is all we can see on Robinhood here. They've actually been beating their expectations by good numbers too. That's the thing. So the market was concerned that the debt would weigh them down, that their bet on AI was too expensive, things like that. And no, check this out. This is a huge, huge gain, huge gain, huge gain over expectations. Yet the stock continues to sell off because people's expectations are just ridiculously too high. It's like they have to beat the expectations of the expectations and so on, right? So I'm loading up on this stock before it hits its fair value in, let's say, 2, 3 years. But I think something like its price target of 250 is very, very easy for this stock to hit within the next 6 months. And then for it to be hitting all-time highs within the next, I would have to guess about a year for it to go and hit 300 to the 330 range. So I'm not selling any shares below 300. I might start to sell covered calls kind of aggressively at 250 because that is the price target after all. But this should be a $300 stock according to what we've seen before, according to what they're doing now, how relevant they are, etc. Guys, I take every single trade live. We just had a 300%, 400%, and 600% gainer all in June. So make sure to get in the Discord, subscribe, and have a great day.